Hello, welcome to this special episode where we're going to be looking at the topic breaking addiction. Now, addiction is something that many people struggle with, and I myself have struggled with it as well. But this podcast will help you shed light into what you're experiencing and also how you can come out of that cycle. I'm going to be walking you through my personal story and journey of the last 20 years. And I want to let you know that sometimes we struggle for such a long time because we do not know what to do. But because I have found out what to do and I have been able to successfully come out of that strain of addiction, I do not want you, my dear friend, to have to live with that addiction any further. I believe that if you would implement the things I'm going to share with you in this book, in this podcast, it will help you come out of this really, really quickly. Addiction may sound like a scary word, but hold on. It's simply the loss of the ability to control yourself when it comes to any area of life. Now, this is a journey of unveiling so that you can be empowered to thrive and not go through decades of limitation because of this loss of control. You may be alarmed at how that small desire festered into a strong, overwhelming feeling and urges that seem to reveal that you have lost the capacity to control yourself, or you have lost the capacity to have rule over your body. But it was simply a drink, you may say. It was only a chat, only a 1-minute video, just an advert, only a storybook. It was one game, a fest, a visit, just a puff. Now, whatever your own situation was, this has metamorphosed into a string of patterns, habits, and recurrent decimals and uncontrollable desires. If you're reading this book, I'm extremely grateful to God for you because I know that God has a great plan for you and that you will be liberated. So congratulations, my dear friend, because I am excited at what God is about to do with you. Blossoming as a child. As a child, I grew up loving the Lord, living for Him, serving God in the children's church, part of a loving Christian family. And I had absolutely no reason for concerns. But like every child, even when we're well brought up and kept in the right environment by our parents, someday we're going to go to school. We would attend school clubs, we would attend birthday parties, play dates, and may come across something that we had never been exposed to before. Now, in my case, while in GSS 2, which is year 8, depending on the climb, I came across a book. Yes, it was just a book. Now, this was not an ordinary kind of book. It was a book wrapped with brown paper, named Drummer Boy, Part 2. Now, this title was very intriguing and sparked my curiosity because in GSS 1, Year 7, we had read a literature book named Drummer Boy, and it was so interesting. So I thought that this was the second part to that book, and so I was very much interested. Now, seeing that a second part to the book existed, I was not ready to miss the opportunity to read it. I found this book with a few friends who were sat on a staircase outside my class. They were all intrigued about the book, and so I requested that they lend me the book. Unknown to me, the title of the book was actually not Drummer Boy Part 2. I can't remember the title now, but I can't forget the negative impact it made in my life. Just like you, my dear friend, you may have read many books, attended many parties, watched many movies, eaten many meals, drank many drinks. But there are certain things that you just can't forget. This book was one of such for me. The book was the beginning of over 20 years' journey into addiction. Curious to know what the book was about? Well, let's dive in. I'm happy to share more with you. This book that I thought was Drummer Boy Part 2 was an erotic book. By erotic, I mean that it was a book that spoke about sexual relations between men and women, which is definitely inappropriate for an 11-year-old girl. Remember, I borrowed this book and went home. So I was alone in my room when I opened this book to read. I was shocked at what I saw. Initially, I thought maybe the first few pages were introductory pages because it was a new story. So I continued to read. I realized that the storyline and the names of the characters were slightly different, but I felt that was because it was part 2 of Drummer Boy. But as I kept reading, I began to see things that I had never thought of before, ideas I had never had before, pictures that had never come into my mind before, of sexual relationships. I was only 11 then, and honestly, should have no business with this book. In life, sometimes we cannot control the things that happen to us. We may be at the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong bunch of friends. However, we have a choice to make. Yes, we do. Do we want to continue down the rabbit hole and be controlled by these vices? Or would we rather take the control again? And take control again, we will. I believe that your decision to read this book or listen to this podcast is because you have chosen not to be controlled anymore. Life happens, and sometimes we may be the victims. Other times, we may be the perpetrators. But whatever side of the divide that we are today, we can decide to do things differently. Now, I would like you to know that one of the most important things in your decision today to listen to this podcast or to read this book and to take control again. Just by making this decision, you are halfway through a new beginning. So congratulations to that place of fresh air where you are no longer controlled or overwhelmed by certain feelings or substances. But you can now take charge and decide on what happens and what doesn't happen. Key takeaways. 1. Guard your mind and heart. Be extremely mindful of what you expose your mind, your eyes, and your heart to. These can either strengthen or weaken your defenses. So be very selective. 2. This book is a journey of discovery and liberation. As you continue reading or listening, expect God to speak to you. He will guide you and you will gain clarity on what next steps you need to take.